You already know that feeling. That moment right before a hard conversation when your stomach drops, your heart starts racing, and your brain goes completely blank. You have so much you want to say, but the second you open your mouth, either the wrong words come out or nothing comes out at all. And then the conversation spirals. The other person gets defensive, you get emotional, and by the end of it, nothing got resolved. In fact, things are worse than before you started talking. That is one of the most painful experiences a human being can have, and it happens to people every single day. Whether it is telling someone you love that they have hurt you, having a conversation at work about something that went wrong, trying to patch things up with someone after a big fight, or finally saying the thing you have been holding inside for months, maybe years. These conversations do not just feel hard, they feel impossible. And here is what most people never realize. The reason those conversations keep failing is not because of the relationship. It is not because of the other person. It is not even because of the topic. It is because no one ever taught you what to actually say in those moments. No one gave you the specific words. And that is exactly what we are going to change today. Now, before we go any deeper, if you are someone who has been struggling with this for a while, if hard conversations have been costing you relationships, peace of mind, or opportunities, we have related programs linked down below in the video description. People who have gone through them have completely transformed the way they communicate in just weeks. Not months. Weeks. And spots are moving fast, so check that out after we finish today. But right now, let us get into this because this information alone is going to shift something inside of you. Picture this. Someone you care about deeply has just done something that really hurt you. You have been carrying it around for days. You replay it in your head constantly. You imagine telling them how you feel, and in your head it goes perfectly. They listen, they understand, they apologize. Everything gets better. But then you try to have that conversation in real life and it falls apart in the first 2 minutes. They get defensive. You get flustered. You either shut down completely or say something you do not mean. And now there's even more distance between you and that person. That pain is real, and it compounds over time. Every failed conversation adds another layer of distance, another layer of resentment, another layer of silence between you and the people who matter most to you. Studies on communication breakdowns show that the average person has at least 3 to 5 unresolved conflicts in their life at any given moment. 3 to 5. That means the emotional weight you are carrying from these unspoken or poorly spoken conversations is enormous. And that weight affects everything. Your sleep, your mood, your productivity, your health, your relationships, all of it. So what actually works? Let us break this down in a way that is simple, practical, and genuinely life-changing. The first thing you need to, before any difficult conversation, is regulate your own nervous system. This is not fluffy advice, this is science. When you feel threatened or emotionally activated, your brain shifts into survival mode. And in survival mode, you cannot access the parts of your brain that help you listen, empathize, and choose words carefully. You are literally operating with reduced capacity. So take 60 seconds before the conversation. Breathe slowly. Tell yourself you are safe. That 60 seconds is worth more than an hour of preparation. Now here comes the most powerful phrase you can possibly use to open a difficult conversation. Ready? It sounds like this. I want to talk about something because this relationship matters to me and I need us to understand each other better. That is it. Notice what that sentence does. It signals safety. It removes blame. It frames the conversation as being about connection, not conflict. The other person's nervous system instantly relaxes a little. And that changes everything. Pattern interrupt. Think about the last time someone came at you with an accusation. You shut down immediately, did you not? Everyone does. The brain hears an accusation and immediately starts building a defense wall. So instead of saying you always do this or you never listen, you flip it. You say something that starts with I feel or I notice or I have been thinking. Those phrases are disarming. They pull the other person toward you instead of pushing them away. Here's another pattern interrupt that most people never use. Silence. Strategic silence. After you say something important, stop talking. Let it land. Most people fill silence with more words and those extra words dilute the impact. Say the thing. Then be quiet. Let the other person sit with it. This is one of the most underused communication tools in existence. Now let us talk about what to do when the conversation gets heated, because it will. And this is where most people completely lose control. The moment you feel your chest tightening or your voice getting louder, that is your cue to use this phrase. I need a moment to make sure I respond to you the way you deserve. Say those exact words. And then take that moment. That sentence is extraordinary because it communicates respect even in a heated moment. It shows the other person that you value them enough to not react impulsively. People remember how you made them feel in hard moments far more than they remember what you actually said. Social proof on this is overwhelming. Communication researchers have found consistently that people who use de-escalation language during conflict not only resolve the immediate issue more often, but also build significantly stronger long-term relationships. The couples, the colleagues, the families, and the friends who learn to do this report dramatic increases in trust, intimacy, and satisfaction in their relationships. Dramatic, not minor, dramatic. Let us go deeper. What do you say when someone is crying or completely shut down? This is where most people panic and say something that accidentally makes it worse. The most powerful thing you can say in that moment is simply this: I am here. Take all the time you need. I am not going anywhere. 4 seconds to say. Potentially relationship saving in its impact. Because what that person needed in that moment was not your solution. They needed to know they were not alone. And here is something almost nobody talks about. The way you end a difficult conversation matters just as much as how you start it. Most people end these conversations either with a sort of deflated exhaustion or with unresolved tension just hanging in the air. Instead, end with intention. Say something like, I am really glad we talked about this. I feel closer to you because of it. Or simply, thank you for hearing me. Even if it was hard, those closing words create a sense of completion. They signal to the other person's brain that this was safe. And that makes them more willing to have these conversations with you again in the future. Because the truth is, the goal is not just to survive one hard conversation. The goal is to become someone who can navigate hard conversations again and again, so they stop being terrifying and start becoming moments of genuine human connection. Think about what your life looks like when you can do that. Relationships that feel deep and honest instead of surface level and fragile. The ability to speak up for yourself without guilt or fear. Never carrying the weight of unspoken things for weeks or months. Resolving conflict in hours instead of letting it simmer for years. That is not a fantasy. That is what happens when you actually learn this skill. And that is why the programs we have linked in the video description below exist. These are not generic communication tips. These go deep. They give you the exact frameworks, the specific language, and the real practice scenarios that rewire how you show up in every conversation that matters. People who go through these programs describe it as one of the most important investments they have ever made in themselves, not just for their relationships, for their entire life. Most people will read this, feel something shift inside them, and then do nothing. And 6 months from now, they will be in the exact same painful situation, wishing they had taken a step when it was right in front of them. But you are not most people. You are here. You are paying attention. And the next step is right there waiting for you in the description below.